What's going on, everybody? This is Travis Witherspoon with another episode of Trade with Travis. It's been a while, but a lot of important stuff has done happen over the course of the last few days. Actually, ended up having my baby girl, in which some of y'all end up knowing. We end up talking about that on the last few days. So I'm gonna go through a lot of stuff very quickly. This is just a brief little reflection video on what we ended up talking about a little bit earlier when it came down to certain pairs and being able to see if there's any other trading opportunities that may end up being there. Once again, this will be a very brief video, so please keep that in mind if you don't catch me. So I'm not a CTA, so I'm not going to tell you whether to buy or sell. What I'm going to do is teach you education, and from the education, you can be able to make your own informed decision. Now, understand that trading involves risk of being able to make money, also involves risk of being able to lose money. So please keep that in mind. And understand that past performance is not indicative of future results, which means that if you end up making money yesterday, it's not promised that you can end up making money today. So with that being said, as we go through and take a look at these overall pairs, what we're going to end up doing is being able to see what we have opportunities in and be able to talk about the pair that was done on Friday. Everybody, just give me one quick second. Okay, sorry about that. So I'm gonna get right into it. Economic calendar last week. If you end up taking a look at Friday, we end up seeing that Jerome Powell was gonna end up speaking and talking about what was happening with the market with the Jackson Hole Summit. That ended up rocking the market a lot when it came down to most moves, and by being able to do that, that really set the precedent for what the market was gonna end up doing from a overall directional standpoint. So we take a look at what's happening with the United States dollar. Once again, I'm going to go through this stuff very quickly. But you take a look at what's happening with the weekly. The weekly now has been pushing up bullish, and it looks like it's going to end up pushing up to the D extension at some point. So the market is still considered to be bullish. You take a look at what's happening with the daily. The market is a little bit overbought, but we do have a new higher high. So at this particular point, I wouldn't do anything with the U.S. dollar pairs. We can actually end up seeing like Euro United States dollar actually end up being a little bit weak at the beginning of the overall market day starting off. Taking a look at what's happening with oil. Oil prices have went down, and it seems like it's probably going to end up being that same way overall when it comes down to movements. You can see that the market, but kind of different. If I'm taking a look at this, the market actually ended up hitting support. The market actually has broken a counter trend line break. This is actually showing a phase of the market actually being bullish. I will actually look at this actually being a little bit more bullish than actually bearish. The market has hit support, and because it has hit support, I would actually be a little bit more interested in being able to take a look at buys and take a look at buys on the Canadian dollar. Now, you take a look at it from a counter trend line perspective. It has not broken a counter trend line break, so I will probably look at it a little bit more and being able to say if it breaks the counter trend line break, I'll be more interested. The market is at 80%, so it's a little bit overbought. You may end up seeing that this may end up rejecting, but this is showing the beginnings of being able to be a bullish morning star. So keep that in mind. Oil, I will not do anything with, at least not yet, just to kind of see what's happening. Taking a look at what's happening with gold. Gold was in a large scale consolidation, and it is remaining to be in a large scale consolidation, even though we looked at the market and it's done drop down. What's going on, Peter? Hope everything's going well with you. We see that the market is actually breaking down in the middle of this consolidation zone. Remember, I said I wasn't going to do anything until the market actually ended up making a true defined move, either below 1685 or actually above 1872 to be able to get into a move. There's really no move to be able to take until that market actually ends up making that move from that overall standpoint. Let's go over US 30 real quick and let's talk about the moves that I ended up getting into. I wasn't able to be able to post all the stuff out once again for most people that already know. Actually ended up having my baby on the 24th, so I was out of commission when it came down to everything. But one of the trades that I ended up placing in was that I wanted to be able to place in a sell order. I ended up placing in a sell order to 32,780. Um, um, and I ended up having a buy order in at 32,270. The market ended up pushing in on a buy order. I ended up getting placed in. I ended up winning on the first trade, actually ended up losing on the second trade because I couldn't see the market basically end up flushing down. When it flushed down, it caught the sell trades, and I ended up catching some of this overall move. I did not catch all of it because I actually ended up panicking. I actually ended up panicking a little bit when it came down to this downside move, just because of how fast it ended up moving. But overall, um, I had one trade out of the six trades that I had in that I kept in that ended up making money off of it. So I still ended up winning, but I didn't win as much as I could have. This one could have been a $22,000 win, but I ended up making some off of it, and not the big game hunting that I was trying to do. So I was kind of mad. I was kind of mad about myself when it came down to this one, but that was the move forward that week. Everyone, give me a second, please. Sorry about that. Now, what's happening right now is this: we have that move. This market has completed that overall move. We're starting to see a little bit of consolidation that's starting to form up right now. Now, keep in mind, I think that people will get suckered in on being able to take a buy, and by being able to get suckered in, it possibly may end up pushing back up. It may possibly end up pushing back up to 32,405. I don't think that that's going to end up happening. I think that the market has to make a little bit of a retracement. Maybe it might make a retracement back to the 32,405 area, which will end up covering up half of this overall gap that ended up falling down. It wouldn't surprise me if it does. For people that would like to be able to get into that, that would be kind of a scalping move, but I would not get into the move until it breaks above 32,150 and being able to go from that overall standpoint. We take a look at if it falls down. I would not place in a order. Well, let's keep in mind. Um, we're in a medium volume node that kind of matches up with this overall area right here. The better trade will probably end up being at 31,720 and being able to take a sale from 31,720 all the way down to 31,350 or 31,360. That will be the next area where I'll be interested in being able to take a short position at, which will end up being right here from here to there, and I'll place in my stop loss somewhere around there. I'll give myself a 1 to 2.3 risk reward ratio. I won't place that trade in until it actually ends up happening, but that would be the trade where I would look at being able to place in a overall short at for us being able to get into the move. That's US 30. Let's go ahead and move into DAX real quick. DAX, once again, fell down, hit a take profit zone. I ended up getting all of this move. Very happy when it came down to that move. I didn't panic on this one because it actually ended up moving a little bit slower, and I was actually able to see the whole thing when it actually ended up moving. Since then, the market has retraced. There wasn't necessarily consolidation, so I'm not going to call it consolidation. So this is more of a continuation trade. So I'll take a look at US yen. So on this one, I will look at a counter trend line break and seeing if this market is going to end up falling down. Now I know that it's going to end up pushing up. The question is, when is it going to end up falling down? What I will end up doing is that when you go on to trade and view, I will just look at a counter trend line breaking to the downside and just place in an alert when it happens. So this is DAX counter trend line break, counter trend line break sale. There we go. The question is, where would it go? We take a look at this from a 1 hour perspective. The next area where it could fall is it could fall to the abyss, if we're being very honest. We can go back to Fibs on this one and start taking a look at the Fibs. The Fibs tells us that it could fall all the way down to 10,380. Now, it has been a very long time since the market has fell all the way down to that level. So I would almost say that this is probably going to end up being a major support level, and the market would end up pushing up. But we have to keep in mind that if it does fall below 12,750 and it remains to be below 12,750, then that market could fall down a very long um, a very long position when it comes down to how far it could actually end up going. So keep that in mind on this one. I would not look at doing a retracement buy. I just don't like looking at that. What's going on, Brian? I hope everything's going well, man. Yeah, I would not look at being able to do anything on that. Um, So German 40, I would kind of wait just a little bit. I kind of wait just a little bit on this one. But I ended up making money on Friday on that big drop. Happy about that. Did not panic as much as I did on US 30. Nas 100, same deal. Caught all of that move when the market ended up breaking out. Obviously, this is something that we end up talking about with our Vortex course. If you're interested in being able to learn a little bit more about that, type in me inside of the chat. What I end up doing is contacting you personally and getting you set up for a free webinar so you can be able to see exactly what we end up doing and how to be able to set this up on your own so you don't have to be in front of me being able to do it. Because all three of these trades were very simple in nature. It just goes with the same simple strategy that we've been talking about over and over and over again over the course of the last 3 months on being able to talk about this. So um, what I end up doing off of Nas, obviously, market ended up breaking up early. We end up catching most of that up move. We end up talking about that. And then after that, when the Jackson Hole Summit actually ended up coming through, it was a counter trend line break that ended up falling. I did not catch it at the top of this counter trend line break. I caught it right when the market ended up breaking this overall support, in which we end up talking about. From there, when the market ended up breaking to the downside, we end up catching that sale at 12,810, and then after that, brought it all the way down to 12,500. Caught that move. Once again, big play off of that. Super excited to be able to make most of that move. Brian, do me a favor, type in the private messenger, send me your email address, and I'll make sure I end up getting in contact with you later on today. Um, Peter, same thing. If you want to be able to do it, just type in the private messenger, just place in your email address, and I'll make sure I end up getting in contact with you later on today. I gotta go to the first doctor appointment for my baby, so uh, that's why I'm kind of in a rush. I'm trying to hurry up and get this done. Want to make sure that I end up providing quality content, but I gotta get to the doctor's office by 10. So next trade on this one, market is in support right now. Market should probably end up making a retracement to the upside. If it does make a big retracement, it possibly could go up to 12,750. But the problem is, I think people kind of smell blood in the water when it comes down to this move. I would expect if the market does make a break to the upside, it probably would kind of have a little bit slight of a move. I don't think it's going to end up having a major move. But because the market ended up popping down as much as 1,200 points on US 30 and as much as 600 points when it came down to Nas, it has to have a little bit of a retracement first before being able to make that move. I wouldn't be interested in taking a buy. I'll be interested in being able to take the sell whenever that ends up happening. On this one, I'm going to go to the hour. Let's see what's happening based off of this movement. Um, Based off of where this is and based off of where we were in early July, if this market does fall down based off of this point, it could fall all the way down to 12,130 before being able to make another move from there. All right, so that is the non-spares. I don't have a trade that I'm pretty much interested in right now on any one of these. I got to see the market kind of make some type of adjustment going into today. And we probably might end up seeing something on Tuesday or Wednesday based off of what's happening with the economic calendar. Remember, the beginning of the month is on Thursday, which means that we have non-farm payroll. Thursday will probably end up being no great trades. Wednesday will probably end up being the day where the market will probably end up making some type of substantial move because now you can be able to see what's actually happening for the overall movement overall. Okay, so there we go. Let's take a look at U.S. yen real quick, and then after that, I have to get out of here. I'm going to end up doing this again at nights again. Um, Probably end up being right around 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is what 2100, 2100. Yeah, 2100 when it comes down to military time. So whatever that is in your location, just keep that in mind as we take a look at that. U.S. yen. So remember, Peter, we end up talking about this market. If it ends up breaking the counter trend line break, I'll be interested in being able to buy. Uh, how do I personally message you? We are friends on. Hold on, I just messaged you real quick, and I'm gonna write hi. There you go. Just send a message based off of that. We have a counter trend line break to the upside. The market is expected to be able to go to 144.42. The Nikkei markets actually end up having a little bit of a drop based off of the Jackson Hole Summit as well. So it may end up seeing that the market may end up pushing up to the upside. The only problem is that the market is in the sell zone. Because the market is in the sell zone, probably may end up seeing people basically start to be able to make a move away from that. Now, one other thing that I will say is this: there was consolidation. So remember, when there is consolidation, the stochastic really doesn't matter when it comes down to that movement. So this is how I play it. I would kind of see, because the market is already done open up, I would wait and see that this market retests this consolidation zone. If it breaks above after doing that, then I will look at being able to take an entry to the upside. Um, if it does something like this, holds and then pops up, I'll look at being able to take an entry. Now, keep this in mind. This wouldn't be a swing trade. This would be more of a scalp. So go to the 2 hour. I'll probably go to the 2 hour, take a look at the fibs when it comes down to that movement. There's a D extension at 139.23 that has not been hit yet. That would be the area where I would scalp at. That would be the area where I'll end up scalping at. Okay. For us being able to go from there. Brian, I got your message. I'll make sure I end up getting in contact with you. It'll probably end up being in about 2 to 3 hours. Just to be honest with you, because I'm literally about to leave after this. But once this market ends up breaking below the counter trend line break, look at the upside move, and then after that, you have a move from there. Hopefully, I was able to answer some of y'all questions. Once again, I would not do anything with US 30, DAX, and DAX and NAS, not yet. There's no move. There's no move there yet. Now, once again, if it does break to the upside, there is a scalping opportunity. I'm just personally not interested in that scalping opportunity. I believe that the market is bearish. The market has done proving that it is bearish. There will be a big pop today. That big pop will probably end up being to the upside. So if you want to be able to try it, then that's fine. But me personally, I would rather for it to pop up, consolidate, and then after that, let's see what happens after that, and then make a move from there. If you like what I end up doing, for the people that's going to end up watching us in the future, click on that boost button. Like always, plan your trade your plan. Everyone, I see y'all in the next video. We end up doing this a little bit later on tonight at 2100 hours. Everybody take it easy.